Welcome back, everyone, to another brand new episode on the channel. My name is Chandler, and it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. I'm so sorry about the lack of uploads for the past week or so. I've just been really busy with school, trying to get caught up. I didn't have internet over the weekend, so I couldn't release anything because somebody ended up severing my internet cable next door. So I didn't have internet since Saturday or Sunday, and it just got fixed on Monday. But that's besides the point. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. My day is going pretty well. I honestly can't complain. The only thing I can really complain about is the fact that it's 88 degrees right now in April. Today's going to be a very fun video because today I will be going over the 3 games out of my entire collection. There's multiples of these, but these top 3 really shaped my childhood, and they were the games that meant a lot to me throughout my childhood. So childhood being from 3 years old to 17 years old. That's 17 years old is the cutoff for childhood. But let's go ahead and get into it. So my first game that I'm going to be talking about it's Tonka Construction Site on the Game Boy Color. So this Tonka game for the Game Boy Color was published by TDK Mediactive Incorporated and developed by Cosmogo for the North American release on May 30th, 2002. It's a pretty cool and neat, per se, strategy game where you dig, scoop, and haul with several different Tonka trucks to move boulders, construct buildings, and much more. It's my favorite game from my childhood. It's actually in my number 1 spot out of the 3 I picked, but it differs each day, however I'm feeling, if that makes sense. So why did this game play a critical role in my childhood as well as your present self? The answer is straightforward, if I'm being honest, again, for a few reasons. When I was around, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years old, my parents bought this exact copy of Tonka Construction Site to gift to me for going into the 1st grade, if I remember correctly, with my childhood Cobalt Blue Game Boy Advance SP. But here's the big thing. You might be asking yourself, but why? Why did they pick this specific Game Boy Color game? Well, I'll tell you why right now. Because when I was growing up, I adored construction site equipment, and I would always play with construction toys. I think I had like a 4-wheeler with a backhoe on attached to the back of it that I could ride around on when I was a little kid, and I had such a blast. It really made me happy because it influenced the way I am now. So like I like role playing, whether it be in Grand Theft Auto 5M server, or RDR2 server, really anything. And I have this very, I guess you could say, very creative mindset with my ADHD. And it allows me to, especially when I was a little kid. This is for when I was a little kid. And it would basically influence the way I would like play with my friends. And I would like be a construction worker. They would be the foreman. And you know how your mind is as a little kid. Your imagination is like extraordinary. And I really do think that influenced me the way I am now. And would play with Tonka construction toys, like I just said, letting my imagination run free in my ADHD mindset. It was the best. I highly enjoyed that when I was a little kid. And I think that's what influenced my parents to buy me Tonka Construction Site on the Game Boy Color when I was very, very young. And I will always cherish that in my heart. So the next up on my list is a very, very underrated gem in my opinion, because this game, along with Tonka Construction Site, really played a big role in my childhood. And I will tell you what that game is right now. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom on the original Xbox. Yes, this game. This SpongeBob game for the original Xbox was published by THQ as well as developed by Heavy Iron Studios for its North American release on Halloween Day in 2003, October 31st, 2003. Battle for Bikini Bottom is a 3D action platformer where you're tasked with saving Bikini Bottom from the evil robots from the creation of Plankton's evil mind. You can play as either SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, with an insane amount of maneuvers along with power-ups at your own disposal. So you can pick any of these characters you can play as. And it's actually very wild to me about this, and here's why. So throughout my childhood, and even still to this very day, I've always loved watching SpongeBob, especially with Patrick, because to this very day, again, I always quote him unconditionally, because that's just how I am, and it's part of my, I guess you could say, my whole, thing. But with this specific game, it was one of the very first games my parents bought for me when they originally got my childhood original Xbox when I was very little. It's still over there, and I still use that. It has a Call of Duty, I think Call of Duty 3 original Xbox skin on it that GameStop was selling back in the day. And that thing is one of my gems from my childhood. But one of the fun things that I remember when I was a little kid was that whenever I got stuck on a certain part of a video game that was way too hard for me to even understand, if that makes sense, basically I would get my mother, she would help me with it. Like in the first Splinter Cell mission, when you're going through the rooftops of each apartment to get I can't remember his name, with Sam, and you're trying to get to that one apartment where you have to put in the code that you get from email on the computer. I always had a difficult time with that. My mother had to do that mission for me, and she showed me how to do it. It was wild, but that, for an example, it was like one of those moments. But from SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, it was much different, because she would help me with the giant robotic Sandy ring match you had to complete to get to the next area on the map, since it was always, I don't know why, it was always challenging for me as a little kid. And that reason alone was enough for me to consider this game as a huge role in my childhood. And it's funny too, because both her and my father always helped me. My dad was the one that actually got me into Grand Theft Auto when I was a little kid. I know that sounds bad to say, but I don't care. Both of them are the reason why I'm the collector and gamer I am now. And that means actually the world to me. But also, let me know what your 2 or 3 favorite games from your childhood are in the comments down below. I'm actually really, really, really interested in talking about it. The very last game I'm going to get into for this, again, is one that I actually always cherished from the bottom of my heart. It will always have a special place in my heart, because it helped me get through a very, very... Okay, so basically from fall, so like October, November of 2013, all the way up until, I want to say, actually current day, it's always helped me get through difficult times in my life, because whenever I get overstimulated or anxious or nervous or anything that makes me panic, I always sit down and play this game, which is Minecraft on the Xbox 360. I'm choosing the Xbox 360 version of the console list it's on, is because, like I said, back in 2013, November of that year, it really did help me out a lot with going through a dark time, going through depression and everything, because I struggled really, really bad with depression when I was 13. Basically when I was 13 till I was actually I kind of still do, but it's not as bad as it used to be from 13 to 16 years old. And it would always calm me down. It would always calm my whole mind and make me forget about all the difficult things I'm going through. And that outlet where you could play creative mode always helped, because it let my mind it basically distracted my mind from the negatives and put it into positive creativity. And So basically, this version of Minecraft on the 360 was published by Microsoft Studios as well as developed by 4J Studios for the North American release on May 9th, 2012. And it's basically one of the quotes I remember from the back of the box. I have the back of the box over there. And I'll throw up a few pictures. But imagine it and build it. The game allows you to create worlds limited only by your imagination, where you can create from the comfort of your sofa. You can experience creativity in either creative or survival mode. Just let your mind run free. And I think it's really good because those negative thoughts in your head, it really does, in my opinion, this game helps because it, again, turns those negative thoughts into positive creativity and outcomes. These were my top 3 games. I'm sorry this episode was kind of depressing towards the end, but I just had to get that off my chest. And this is one of the reasons why it plays a key role in my childhood and even now in 2026. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you want more content like this, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel because it really does help me out a lot. We're almost at 440 subscribers, which blows my mind, and I'm so thankful for all of you. And let me know what your favorite games are down below, like from your childhood. Give me your 2 or 3 favorite childhood games. And like I said before, I will also be releasing a brand new video. I want to say sometime this week or this weekend. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.